impact on the world. I am Erica Lynn. I will teach you how to take the restraints off of you, begin to live free, and become unstoppable. Go to ericalynnspeaks.com.
I say Erica Lynn Speaks. Erica Lynn Speaks.
Hello. This is your girl, Erica Lynn. And welcome back to another episode of Erica Lynn Speaks podcast, where we play big or go home. I got to tell you guys, it is so funny that I started the podcast at 5 o'clock on the nose. However, I don't know what happened. I didn't even have any of the channels on. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, nobody is saying hi. Nobody is saying what's up. But I'm here now. I did start at 5 o'clock, but technical difficulties, nothing stops me, right? Anyway, this week on Erica Lynn Speaks podcast, we are talking about staying in the game. How important is it to stay in the game? Because how many of you are sick and tired of being sick and tired? Give me a show of hands. Say, Erica, I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired. I just want to throw in the towel. I just had enough. Life just be kicking my butt and beating me up. I'm tired. I'm tired. You know, I want you guys to stay in the game. So how many of you felt like throwing in the towel? How many of you felt like giving up? Like really, seriously, because I know I felt that way as well. How many of you felt like throwing in the towel and give it up? But anyway, if you are just joining this podcast, make sure you share this podcast with everybody in your timeline. Start a watch party. If you're watching it on YouTube, share the link out, but say, hey, this time we want to stay in the game, no matter how life is coming at us. I'm ready. I'm here. I'm watching this podcast because I want to stay in the game. So as you may know, staying in the game sometimes is hard. Staying in the game is not always easy. It's easier to throw in the towel. It's easier to give up. It's easy to say, hey, whatever, you know, I'd rather just go somewhere in the corner and tuck my head between my legs and just say, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I don't want to keep going. But I don't want you to be done. I want you to keep going. See, just think about if our leaders and the people that came before us or the people that's here now, if they threw in the towel, then what would we have? What would we have to look up to? What would our children, if we throw in the towel, what would our children have to look up to? Like, what are we demonstrating to our young people if we throw in the towel? Just think about Martin Luther King. If Martin Luther King threw in the towel, then it wouldn't be no equality. It wouldn't be equal rights. We wouldn't be able to use the same restrooms as others. We wouldn't be able to drink out of the same water fountain. But Martin Luther King, he had to deal with a lot. He had to deal with not being home with his beautiful wife and children, Coretta Scott King. He had to be gone on the road. He had to be ridiculed for being an African American trying to be out here changing lives. You know, he was probably spit at and tried. Of course, we know that he was assassinated in the end, but he had to deal with so many things in his life. And I know he questioned himself. Am I doing the right thing? Like, oh my God. But just think, if he gave up, where will we be at today? So I said, what did Martin Luther King do? He stayed in the game, baby. He stayed in the game. And see, by him staying in the game, his name and the things that he did lives long after he is gone because he chose to stay in the game. But what about Obama? They talked about Obama. Oh, a black man can't be president. A black man, we know this black man got baby mamas everywhere and baby mamas jumping out the woodwork. We know Obama ain't right. Some got to be wrong. And he got ridiculed about his birth certificate. I mean, just so many things. But Obama didn't give up. He became the 44th president. But how did he become the 44th president? Tell me. Somebody tell me, how did he become the 44th president? Well, he stayed in the game. He stayed in the game. That's how he became the 44th president. But we could talk about, you know, I have been studying this beautiful woman, and I know you guys see me post her pictures in my videos sometimes, Maxine Waters. When I was growing up, my mother used to talk about Maxine Waters, and I was like, who is this Maxine Waters? Then I was watching TV one day, and they were talking about Maxine Waters, and Maxine has said something to me that stuck in my mind from the day I seen her on TV a couple months ago till now. Maxine said, if things won't change, up at the higher level, then how do you make them change? You go and be a part of the change. But if they don't make a space for you, what do? You create your own seat at the table. So Maxine Water created her own seat at the table so she could be a part of change. Everybody probably has something negative to say about Maxine. Everybody probably was like, "Oh, this African American woman, what is she doing?" She had so many things against her. A male predominant world, a white male predominant world, and she still created her seat at the table. She was a part of some of the greatest things that took place in her lifetime, in my lifetime. I mean, Maxine Waters, that's just ain't no joke. But how did she do all of the things that she did? And how is she going to continue doing the things that she's doing until she retires, until she leaves this earth? She did that by staying in the game. So important. You got to stay in the game. And last but not least, because there's so many leaders, there's so many people that we know that stayed in the game and made a difference. But we're going to talk about our new Vice President, Kamala Harris. Everybody talked about her about being an African American woman. They talked about her because she prosecuted so many men, put them in jail. They talked about her about being in a biracial marriage. But what if Kamala listened to everything somebody else had to say about her? What if Kamala based her life around what you said, what somebody else said? Then what would she be? She wouldn't be the vice president, the 46th vice president. She'll probably still be, prosecuting and on the Senate. But Kamala said to herself and to the people that know her, she's not going to let what other people say about her. She's not going to let other people dictate what she should do. She fought for what she wanted to have. And what did she do in order to become vice president? She stayed in the game. Simple as that. She stayed in the game. So, when you think about staying in the game, sometimes it's easier said than done. Like, oh, Eric, I want to give up. I want to quit. I'm tired. I don't want to stay in the game. What I'm going to tell you, if you stay in the game, then I promise you things will get easier. I promise you your legacy will be long-lived after you. All you got to do is stay in the game. See, yesterday, I wasn't feeling well at all. I had a really, really, really bad episode of my headache episodes that come on, and they have lasting effects. I laid down. I was nauseous, just really not feeling good. I was just like, oh. And in that moment when I wasn't feeling good, all of those memories came back. So when my kids were younger and I would be driving down the highway and the episode come on and I could no longer drive. Or those memories came back that when I was working my job, I had to keep leaving my job because I kept getting sick and jobs didn't classify my illness as something that was excusable, that you could use a leave of absence for. I kept thinking about how I would go to school when I was in college and I couldn't finish my work because I was just so ill. My head was hurting so bad. I was so sensitive to light. I just started thinking about how I gave up on myself, and that was part of me having low self-esteem because I felt like, how was I going to move forward because of this illness? And so I laid down and I was like beginning to soak because all of those painful memories had started coming back. And then let me tell you how God worked. I got a text message. Pastor Barb texted me and she says, are you still going to? No, she says, remember, you have you're leading prayer at Bible over the prayer call tonight. And I rose up in that bed, sick and all, and I responded to my text message and I said, absolutely, I'm not going to let you down. You see, so no matter how I felt, no matter what was going through my mind, I got up and I closed my eyes and I said that prayer at the prayer call. I delivered the message that I needed to deliver. I touched the person that God asked me to touch, whoever that is, I don't know. But the only way I was able to do that was because I stayed in the game. I did not give up. So my message to you is to make sure that you stay in the game. Don't give up. It is so important for you not to give up. I'm telling you, it's easier said than done, right? But Stay in the game. So there's 5 tips that I want to give you guys, and I'll make it short and sweet tonight. There's 5 tips that I want to give you all about staying in the game. So the first tip that I want you guys to have is write your plan down. Write your plan down. Habakkuk 2 and 2 says, write it down, make it plain. So if you write your plan down and you make it plain, then you visually see it, then you understand the things that's in here, you're able to put it down there, and you're able to make it plain, and you're able to go forward, and that's part of your plan. It's part of you. It's part of the process of you staying in the game. Because later on in life, this plan that you wrote in the beginning is going to be prevalent in what you do in the end. So you wrote the plan down, you wrote the vision down, you got everything outside of here, you put it down on the paper, you allow God to flow through you, even when you was dreaming, right? And you was dreaming like, I see myself doing somebody's hair. I see myself doing those eyelashes. I see myself doing nails. I see myself being an attorney. I see myself starting a business. I see myself coaching people. I see myself doing whatever it is. Even if you're going through the divorce, I see myself buying a new house and doing this and doing that. Whatever your plan is, whatever your vision is, write it down, make it plain. Okay? So the next thing I want you to do is I want you to have faith. I want you to have faith that God gave you this vision. God gave you this plan. He put these things in your head for a reason. He put them there because there's something that he wants you to do. There's somebody's life that he wants you to touch. There's so many things that he wants you to accomplish. But you got to have faith. Don't give up on it, right? Because it's easier said than done. Don't give up, but continue to have faith. And having faith will take you a long way because there's a lot of people that want to give up. And when you're ready to give up, then you just got to trust that God gave you this for a reason. So continue to have faith that he gave you those visions and those dreams for a reason. So that's number 2. Number 3 is review your plan. So you wrote your plan down, you thought it all out, you got faith that God put this plan inside of you for a reason. And so when you review your plan, now you're going back over those steps. You're trying to see if anything changed. Did you change? Did the world change? Did the way we do business change? Did my kids change? Whatever it is, whatever your plan is. But it's so important for you to review your plan so that you can update it and update the changes. But so going back and reviewing your plan, it just helps you see what needs to be changed, right? And it also helps you stay on track. So that's what's most important, to review your plan. It helps you stay on track. And ultimately, it helps you stay in the game because we want to get out of the game. But by reviewing it, and it keeps us on track, and we get to stay in the game. So number 4 is have an accountability partner. You gotta have somebody that's gonna kick it real with you. Like, you set out here to do what you needed to do, and you cannot give up. I'm here to talk good stuff to you. I'm here to keep you on point. I'm here to keep you from changing your mind. I'm here to keep you from throwing in the towel. But you got to have an accountability partner, a person that knows what your visions is and that plan that you wrote out. And that person also keeps you that keeps you in line with those steps. So having an accountability partner definitely will help you stay in the game. And number 5 is self-care. Make sure you do some self-care tips, because if you're fighting for something and you're tired and you're exhausted, or you have not properly groomed yourself, or you haven't did what you needed to do, like, self-care keeps you motivated. Last week we did 10 steps of self-care tips, and a lot of people responded that having a massage, it helped them to care for themselves and keep them motivated. Well, you got to continue to do those self-care tips. You got to get plenty of sleep, drink water, get massages, go for a walk, get that exercise in, whatever it is. Staying fit, taking care of yourself internally, physically, emotionally, like mentally, is going to go a long way. And it's definitely going to help you stay in the game. So what you have to do, no matter how rough and tough life is, no matter if you feel like giving up, no matter even if you became pregnant and it wasn't even planned, no matter if it seems as if you're not even making a difference in the world, no matter if you want to throw in the towel and stop eating healthy, like going to get all those fried foods, No matter if your relationship has ended and you feel like giving up on life, I just got one thing to say to you. Stay in the game. Don't give up. I promise you, your results are going to be plentiful. What's most important? You're going to be happier than you ever have been. So today, I decided to do something for you guys on this live. Let me get the music together. I am going to do a piece off of my spoken word album, The Never Give Up by Erica Lynn. I want to make sure that I got it all set up for you. Okay. So we talked about staying in the game. We talked about how important it is to stay in the game. We talked about the results that you get when you stay in the game. We talked about so many things tonight. And I just want you guys to know that in order to stay in the game, sometimes things are going to be hard and it's not going to always be easy. And you are going to want to feel like giving up, or you're going to want to quit. But I can't say it to you no better than I'm going to say it to you now, as far as never giving up and never quitting. We were all faced with life decisions, some good and some bad. But when you are faced with those decisions that you may never have had, being pregnant and underage, you have no idea what you should do. If I keep it, what type of life will my child even have? If I terminate, will I deal with a life full of regret? Well, I tell you, the choices you make, no one is to judge. But don't throw in the towel just yet, because no one will hold a grudge. So I say to you, never quit and never give up. If he yells at you and tears you down, sometimes he even pushes you around. You find yourself asking, is verbal abuse even abuse? You begin reasoning with yourself saying, he just called me stupid, and only the B word. You ask yourself a question saying, doesn't it mean he just loves me more? He sits back and says, she's just being a woman. Is it okay for her to down me, belittle me, and treat me less than a man? Well, I tell you both that verbal abuse is still abuse, and you are worth so much more. You are a powerful woman, a powerful man, and you stand up as such. So I say to you, never quit and never give up. Sometimes your relationship has taken a turn for the worse. You're always arguing day in and day out. You just can't seem to meet eye to eye. You're tired of arguing, tired of fighting, but the love you feel for each other doesn't seem to keep you apart. So you must stand and fight and don't let nothing keep you apart. So I say to you, never quit and never give up. We wake up one day and find ourselves all in a pandemic. The schools, businesses, and your lives are simply shut down. Is it a plague? Was this a commandment? Is it written in the Bible? I don't know, but the world has no idea what to do. We went to our leader for guidance and advice. He told us to take hydroxychloroquine and drink bleach. Perhaps that should suffice. Our prayer was to be rescued by a leader who cares, a leader who tells the truth and put the people first. Don't worry, change is coming, so never quit and never give up. Don't fret, don't worry, it is time for a change. We will be living in a world with no crime, no hassle, and no pain. A world of life, love, and even laughter. A world full of young people who grows up to have manners. And once they begin to respect themselves, then all hope is not lost. Rise up to your rightful position and become that next boss. Rise up to be the next leader. Rise up for those who paid the cost. Rise up to your rightful position. Never quit and never give up. So that's my time. I am Erica Lynn. Thank you guys for joining me for Erica Lynn Speaks podcast, another successful, wonderful Friday episode. And this week we talked about staying in the game, how important it is to stay in the game. And if you guys want to get the album, it's streaming on all platforms. Go to anywhere. All you got to do is type in Never Give Up by Erica Lynn. Is a beautiful spoken word album. You guys will get some great motivational pieces. So I'll see you guys next Friday. And what did we talk about? Staying in the game and how important it is to never give up and never quit. That's my time. I'm your girl, Erica Lynn. And just remember, it only takes just one step beyond you. God bless you guys. This podcast was brought to you by EricaLynnSpeaks.com. Sign up for your free consultation today at EricaLynnSpeaks.com/work with me. And just remember, it only takes just one step beyond you.
Beyond you. I say